Okay. So basically tonight we're going to be going over or hearing rather from all of these amazing women who have achieved the rank of gold. So we're going to be hearing about their journey, their struggles, the lessons they learned, everything. And I felt like this was more effective than me or Ashley or some of our other leaders talking about going gold or whatever rank we're at. Because I feel like sometimes it is more impactful when you hear from someone who is actually gold, working on senior gold, or someone who just went senior gold. So without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Lindsay Pettit go first. I have to find her here. Oh, I passed you. Okay. There you go, love. You'll just have to unmute yourself and you're ready.
Okay. Hey, guys. So I'm Lindsay Pettit. I'm a gold ambassador. So a few things I wanted to share with you guys that have really helped me get to gold. Number one, I would say would be expanding my network. That would be the biggest thing I would say that got me to gold. Was I went from 700 friends on Facebook to around, I would say, like 1,600 to 1,800 within that time frame of hitting gold. So yeah, I know that that's a lot. Honestly, I will say the most from that would be adding myself into groups that are like-minded with my brand. Also local groups. I'm a mom, so I was finding lots of mom groups, crafting groups here locally. I really broke into my brand and what exactly I wanted, my name represented with and things like that. So I'm a huge book nerd, so there wasn't a book club locally, so I made my own group. And we, chat books, and, we meet up at the park and, chat about the books that we've read. So, I hear a lot of times, that, there's not a lot of groups in my area. And the number one thing I thought of, was I'm just going to make my own. So, yeah, that helped a lot. Also, getting out there for events and meeting people, look through like your community's block parties and gardening events, different clubs like that you can get involved in and meet new people. Even if those people that you meet don't open any doors, they may know somebody else that could open a door for you as well. So that's kind of how I expanded my network. Also, going through my suggested friends list was really great for me. And if I kind of like hit a block that day, I tried to set a goal of like adding 2 to 5 people on my Facebook every day. So if I hit the block for that, I would get in like my husband's friends list or my mom's friends list or my sister's friends list and go from there and add their friends and, like that I've known for forever that I've never had on my Facebook. And I would kind of go from there and add friends through that as well. I'm just going to check my notes and make sure that I'm hitting everything, guys. Yeah, again, on like events, if there was no events like really in our area that I was really interested in that month, I would just make my own. I would plan like a ladies' night and invite like a bunch of locals and tell them to bring a friend, and we would go drink wine at Olive Garden or plan like a painting night at the Brushes and Beverages place, do a play date, things like that, just to kind of, get my face out there, meeting people. If anything, I'm going to make a new friend. So yeah, that was really great. I would say that was definitely my number one for going gold. 2 is a close, very close, is personal growth. I made sure that I was growing every single day. If that was getting on YouTube, no, sorry, I just got your message, Rachel. If that was getting on YouTube and training myself, if that was, getting and doing product knowledge and really getting to know the products. I am not a sciencey person at all, so that was definitely my weak point always. I know what the products did for me. So getting in there and knowing each product so that way I'm confident in answering any questions. Also, network marketing growth. So outside of just like Plexus people and Plexus videos, I made sure that I was, really growing in attraction marketing and law of attraction and overcoming objections and different things like that. So that way I was more confident in my business. And also sharing all those personal growths with my team. If I found a video that I really liked, I'd share it with one of my runners. And that would definitely be my number 3, would be running with my runners. My wholesale ambassadors, I try not to put too much pressure on them. They're my VIP customers, and that's kind of like how I treat them. But my runners are who I lock arms with. I challenge, I empower, you know, we can do this together. So that really helped me get to gold, was linking arms with them. But yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. I love absolutely all of that. And I'm just over here going, yes, yes, absolutely. So a lot of what you're going to hear tonight, we're going to go to Caitlin next. But a lot of what you're going to hear tonight, I'm hoping that there is some overlap. It'll probably be said differently. Everybody has their own journey. But what I'm hoping that you're hearing is that, you know, while everybody does their thing their own way, it's a lot of the same steps to get there. So let's see. Let's find Caitlin here. I don't know why oh, there you go. I love. Yay. Okay. Oh, we can't hear you. Are you muted? Oh, no. No, we might have to go on to Tiffany if she's ready and come back, if that's okay. Okay. Are you ready, Tiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can totally go. So hi guys, I'm Tiffany. If you don't already know who I am a gold ambassador. So I kind of just, the first thing I wanted to mention was, do not let the pace of your journey discourage you. I know a lot of the time once we go silver, we get like that rank excitement and then we think we're gonna go gold really fast. That's what I did, and it definitely didn't happen. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would. But mindset is so important. You know, as long as you stay positive in this business and have a positive mindset that you are going to go gold, you know, it's so, so important. That I talk about affirmations, you know, saying daily affirmations. When I went gold, I was saying affirmations that I was going to go gold, that my team was growing, that I was personally sponsoring people. So I would say that mindset is really, really big. So let's see, I want to check my notes to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So with, I did want to say, you know, not letting the timing of your journey discourage you. The same people who are going to get you to silver normally aren't going to be the same people who are going to get you gold. So make sure that you're personally working your business still every single day. And I think that's something, that a lot of us forget. And it was something that was hard for me to accept after I went silver. When I went silver, only one of those people out of those first three were still on my team when I went gold. So don't let it discourage you when people fall off. You know, this business isn't meant for everyone. And kind of like what Lindsay said, you know, run with your runners, focus on your top 20%, because if you are focusing on the people who either don't see the vision or they aren't willing to like work for it, you're just going to keep working and spinning in circles and not going anywhere. So that was really important for me to focus on that. I kind of didn't in the beginning because I care about everyone. I want everyone to succeed, and that's not always the case. So it's just something hard that you have to accept, and really focusing on your runners and focusing on your top 20%. But yeah, so the same people, you know, aren't going to get you to that next rank. Same with when you go gold, like the people who take you to gold typically aren't the same people who are going to get you to senior gold. Okay, so always be personally sponsoring, working your daily IPAs. I can't stress this enough. Be working, I think I'm echoing. Can you guys hear my echo? I don't know why.
I'm going to figure out why.
Okay. I think I do want to add though, like whenever I went silver and started like building a team, it's so easy to get stuck in management mode, and that's just like something that was really hard for me. So make sure that you are personally working your own business. Like still focus on your top 20%, but every single day make it a priority to do your personal reach outs, do your personal follow-ups, still be sponsoring people every day. Honestly, like what helped me go gold was me sponsoring most of the people that made me go gold. Again, also with sponsoring and making sure that convenience orders are, I mean, it's a must. Like you can't have, there's no exceptions for convenience orders. You cannot go gold and pass out with people signing up without turning convenience orders on. that was something that was really hard for me after I went gold, especially because it was like in October. I went gold in September, and then in that October is when we made convenience orders not necessary. But guys, they are necessary. Like if you want to build in your business and grow, you have to make sure you and your team have convenience orders on, and every single person there signing on has the convenience order. Because if not, again, you're going to spin circles and stay in the same place. And that was something hard that I had to learn. So I definitely wanted to share that with you guys. Another thing that really helped me and still helps me to this day in my business is consistency. Consistency is, I mean, I feel like I preach this all the time with my team. Consistency is so important. Consistency with posting. You have to post every day. You can't take a few days off. You can't take a week off if you're trying to build a following or build a brand. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent with your products. It's so, so important. You have to make sure that you're taking your personal products and living a healthy lifestyle, because that's what we are. We're a health and wellness company. So that's really important. Making sure that you are staying consistent with your IPA, again, personally working your business every single day. Expanding your network, like Lindsay touched on. Everything that Lindsay touched on too was like perfect. So I hope you guys took notes, because a lot of what she said is a lot of what I did. Expanding your network. I went from 400 friends when I started Facebook, or when I started Plexus, to 3,000 now. So expanding your network is so, so big. Be adding people every day, going to groups, meeting people, meeting local people, building that local team of yours is really important. I think that's all I had to say. That's all I have on my notes.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you. Caitlin, do you think we can try again? Let's see how it goes. No. Oh no. We'll get this.
Can I ask a question while you guys are
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Tiffany, I know this is like always stress with having your ambassadors turn on their convenience order, but I mean, what if you have an ambassador who doesn't order 100 PV? Like I just don't. Okay, I just don't know how to go about like telling them why it's important to turn that on. Obviously, they're not going to get paid, but in the end, they're coming out of their pocket more than what they're going to get paid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Okay.
The way that I explain it, I mean, I don't really give them an option. I kind of just like walk them through it. Like whenever I'm helping walk them through sign up, I'm like, okay, here's your welcome pack. Now let's turn on your convenience order. Just select whatever it was, your welcome pack. This helps you stay consistent. And then I tell them how important it is to be consistent with their products, and that they have to be committed to at least 90 days in this business. If they aren't, and they tell me that they're not committed to being consistent with their products, then I would honestly suggest for them to be a customer still.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help? I hope that helps answer your question a little bit.
Yeah, and
I mean, okay, so for like example, like who I just had sign up, and she's super awesome, and I'm very excited, but she was just ordering like the probiotics, and she just wants to work it as, yes, there's two Parkers, as the business now. So like she didn't order a welcome pack because she doesn't want anything else besides the probiotics right now, and she didn't. It's okay. Can you just wait a minute and be patient? Anyway, if there's like something I could say to her to maybe convince her otherwise, you guys. No.
So I will say I don't sign anyone up if they're not going to buy a welcome pack. I have done it. I'm telling you this from personal experience. I have done that in the past in my business because they were interested, because kind of like how you're saying, they were interested in the business. They wanted to work the business. At least they told me that. They wanted, the cheaper price on the products. But I will say the majority, like 90% of them never purchased a welcome pack and never qualified after joining. It's just not worth it to have someone who doesn't want to commit that much to the business where they're not even going to buy a welcome pack. Like that's such a good deal.
I see a doggy. I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
That's okay. That's a super discounted price on our products. They're getting such a good deal. You want to be a product of the product when you're selling the products. You want to be able to like try our different products so you have experience with them. When someone doesn't want to do that, that honestly tells me that they aren't committed or serious about it.
Absolutely. I'll just add on to that if you don't mind. But what I learned the hard way, and this was when convenience orders were required to get paid, but we still struggle with people wanting to join without welcome packs. But this goes for both. So if you're having someone who isn't wanting to buy a welcome pack, I'm going to tell you 99% of the time they're never going to purchase anything ever. Because if they start this business and never try the products or have never tried the products and don't know how much they love them and don't believe in them, they're not going to be successful. And I say 99% because there are some exceptions. I was one of them. I think I had a sample once, but I had researched the products. I knew that I loved them. I went into this with like, I'm not giving up. This is going to happen. But looking back, I mean, I should have just got the welcome pack. You know, a month or a few weeks later, I ended up buying products anyway, which was more expensive than getting a welcome pack. But 99% of the time, that's not going to work out very well. And without their convenience order on, listen, guys, why are they signing up if they're not going to be consistent with their products? That is like one of the biggest things in being successful with this business is loving your products, feeling better, and being able to tell other people about that. And if you're not consistent with your own products, how do you expect any of your customers or any of your ambassadors to be consistent with their products? So when I have someone join, and this is what I expect my entire team to do, welcome packs required. No ifs, ands, or buts. That it just happens. And they have to commit to 90-day commitment to not only the products, but also to the business. Because I don't want to see somebody try for 30 days and then give up because they're not seeing results with business or products. Because you all know the 90-day rule with your business, you know, what you're doing now will reflect in 90 days. And they obviously have to have their convenience order on because they just committed to 90 days on the products, and they need their product shipped to them every 30 days. And who wants to try to remember to do that? So those are the requirements for my ambassadors when they join. And if they forget a step, then I remind them and let them know because that's what they agreed to. And it's super important that you're strict about that. And I know it's kind of difficult in the beginning when you're like, I can't tell anybody no. I don't want to scare them away. Trust me, if they are not willing to do all those things, I'm telling you, 99% of the time, they're not going to last in the business. And that's just, that's a cold hard truth. You don't want to sign a bunch of people who are just going to quit a few months later. That's more discouraging than not having anybody. So I'm going to start with my long-winded self.
Can I add a little something too? Like, if you have someone who can't, like, who gives you the cost objection of affording a welcome pack, just let them know, like, to save money, like, help them find ways to save money for a welcome pack. Be like, hey, let's wait to sign you up. That way we make sure that you get started on the right products. That way you have a testimony. That way you get this awesome deal on our welcome pack. Because again, if they don't purchase a welcome pack, they don't get the success kit either. So, and that's really important and has a lot of useful tools. So if you have someone who says that they just can't afford it, help them find ways so that they can afford it. I help my potentials work with their budgets. I'm front up and I ask them, like, where are areas that you are spending on unhealthy products? Because so many people eat candy bars, junk food, and things like that, and they don't realize that. Another thing, donating plasma, you can make extra money doing that. I have a lot of people on my team or people I've signed up do that for a week or two, and then they get the money to buy a welcome pack. So helping people find ways to purchasing a welcome pack, but personally letting them know, like, I'm going to have you wait to sign up until you can afford a welcome pack, and then give them the reasons why and just stress the importance of it.
Mm-hmm. Donating plasma is funny. It just made me giggle. You got to do what you got to do to start your business, That's really funny. Okay, Kate, we're going to try this one more time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yay.
Okay. Well, forgive me for my setup, but this is what I got to deal with right now. I don't know what's going on with my computer. But so I'm going to give a little bit of background on myself just because I feel like my journey has a lot to do with how I got to gold. I actually joined for the products and the business, but I wanted to make sure that the products worked before I started. Oh, thanks. Before I started actually sharing. Within the first week of taking the products, I started sharing for the business because I just noticed what they were doing for my quality of life. I started out slow. I went silver in 3 months, and then I got stuck and I went backwards. Just like Tiffany just said, a lot of the people, or most of the people who get you to silver aren't going to get you to gold. So my want in all of this tonight is to help to let you guys know how not to get stuck and how not to have to go backwards, because going backwards just isn't a good feeling. So after I went silver, I lost my upline. That was really hard for me. I was feeling really lost in the business, and I honestly felt like I wanted to quit. But I knew that I needed this not only for me, but I needed this for my family too. So I needed to find a way to make it work. And so that is when I found my business partner, Aja. And that is where things really took a change for the better. I had someone to lean on. I had someone for support. I had someone to bounce ideas off of. Excuse me. And she became my best friend. And it's just something that, you know, having something to share with somebody like that is just really important. And having somebody there for support and just understanding, it's invaluable in this business. And I highly suggest that you all find someone that you can team up with and you can just feel empowered with, because that is what she does for me. So in February of 2017, after we had teamed up, I topped the leaderboard, both of us did. And February through June of 2017 were my best years, or my best months on record. I ranked gold in June, and the way that I did that was my daily steps that I took, not only with Aja, but the IPA. Sorry, let me close this door. IPA is so important. So every single day I try to reach out to a minimum of 10 people, but a maximum of 20. So like somewhere between those two numbers. And you know, you're going to get a ton of no's. You're going to get people that tell you no all the time, and that's okay. You're going to get people that ignore you all the time, and that's okay. Because the more people you talk to, there are going to be people that say yes. And obviously that has happened. So definitely the IPA, expanding my network was a huge thing for me. I got into a few groups and just tried to focus on those specific groups instead of being in like hundreds of groups. I try to be active in just a couple of groups. I meet people every single day, and I add those people to my friends list. So once I'm friends with those people, I send them a message like, hey, we met in such and such a group. How are you? And I never mention Plexus or anything, but a lot of my potentials, maybe they're not on my team, but customers have come from that. I've been complimented on how I'm not salesy, how, you know, things aren't annoying, because there's a lot of companies out there that give a very annoying aspect. And, you know, I've been commended in that. Even if they didn't buy anything from me, I've gotten a message saying, hey, I really admire how you're doing things. Keep doing business the way you're doing business. So that's definitely very important too. I think that, you know, the most important things that have gotten me to gold is definitely having an accountability partner, doing your daily IPA, and expanding your network there, and especially expanding your network. Please work on that, because I started my journey with Plexus with 457 friends, and I'm at like 2020 now. And it is just, it has been a huge, I've made friends that don't even have anything to do with Plexus, but it's just been a huge boost of my confidence. And honestly, I feel like it has changed me from an introvert to an extrovert, because now I have no problem talking, to anybody that reaches out to me. I just feel so able to be open. So I just feel like I have grown in myself while growing in my business.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love that, Caitlin. Caitlin's my girl. I mean, you're all girls, but her and I work really closely together. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, expanding your network. I just kind of wanted to reiterate that it's not about adding anybody and everybody and random people. This is about truly building relationships and making new friends. And I've made some of my best friends on Facebook. Alex Coulombe, I bought a baby carrier off of her, and we just hit it off, These aren't random people. But when I started my business, I was just telling a potential the other day, I was just out of college. I had a newborn. None of my friends were moms. I didn't have a network besides my small hometown, who tends to be a little closed-minded and not on the health conscious side. I don't know how many friends I have, but it was not a lot, and broke college kids. So that's ironic. I just got a call from my hometown. Their ears were burning. But yeah, just expand your network, make new friends, and expand, like Lindsay said, in the way of your brand and the direction that you're wanting to go. You want like-minded friends. Whether they end up joining your business or buying the products, you got awesome new friends, okay? And you're going to be a happier person.
Oh, I want to add something to that too, about branding. Branding myself has been a huge staple in my business. Having something that you have as a personal, outlet that you can let yourself shine and let people see who you really are. I think that is so important. And just like you wouldn't be fake in front of someone, I feel like you should show yourself on social media too. Because people, when they know you and they understand you, they're going to trust you and they're going to trust your judgment. And they're going to be more open and willing to listen to what you have to say and listen to what you have to offer. So I think that is definitely very important. And like Rachel said, I don't just add Joe Schmo from down the street. Like, I make sure that I'm building relationships with the people that I add to my page.
Thank you. Okay, Steph, are you ready, love?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, so thank you guys for having me on tonight. If I get a little short of breath, it's because my baby is like sitting in my rib cage, but I'm gonna try to breathe as best as I can. So how I went gold in a nutshell, it took me longer than I thought it would. Like Tiffany said, we don't measure the pace of everyone else, and we don't get discouraged by the pace that our business takes, even when we didn't plan for it to happen that way. But I joined for the business. I was in preparation for joining and saving up the money to join with my welcome pack. It took me like 6 months before I joined, but I was watching Catherine and I knew I wanted to join. I knew I needed the products. I wound up needing them a lot more than I thought I even did, but I definitely needed the business. So I just hit the ground running as soon as I joined. I made my first post. I, watched every video she tagged me in. I just, immediately was like, okay, I need to prove this to my husband that I can make money with this. I was coming off of a previous MLM experience that I did not make a lot of money with because it was a luxury item. And so once I really understood that these were health products that were changing people's lives, I knew that I could make it work and I was going to make it work. And so I immediately just started plugging away. I was watching all these training videos and just delving into learning about the products and how to tell people which products they would need, rather than, okay, just Slim and Accelerator, or oh yeah, you want to try Plexus? You need Triplex. I really wanted to help people almost like a doctor would with prescribing different items for different people's situations.
and their budget, because budget is like a huge thing for me. I grew up in a very big family. So being like budget conscious was really, really like my strong suit. So anyway, I found my running mate at the time. She was a close friend. She still is a close friend, but she was a level 1 of mine. And we both hit the ground running. She was halfway to gold, very, very shortly in her time frame of being with Plexus. I went silver in my first full month with Plexus. Again, I was like running with it like super fast. And it was easy for me to do that because I was posting every day, because I was in love with the products. I was loving my experience. I'm sure you guys have seen like some of my milk supply pictures and things like that. I was just on cloud 9 with the products. So it was easy for me to post about them and get a lot of people interested because my passion was just like spilling out of me. And my running mate was the same way. She was experiencing amazing results. So we were just like both on fire with our teams. The one thing that I would caution you guys with all of that backstory to say this, when you're choosing a running mate, be very choosy and make sure you guys are on the same page with how you're going to run your business. And everyone's journey looks different, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying you need to have an identical experience. But what I am saying is her philosophy was a little bit different than mine, in that she was trying to find people who were down in the dumps and had no money, trying to find people to like kind of bring them up out of a rough financial situation. And while that's fine and good, people were joining our team without welcome packs, because she was like, okay, just give me that, just join me for $35 and let's do this together. And she had great intentions, not discrediting that at all. But as everyone else has said before, joining without a welcome pack is never going to be great. So we had probably 10 people join under my level 2s, under her, and only 2 of them are with us today that are wholesale customers. So just like a caution, a word to the wise to, make sure that you and your running mate, if you have one, are on the same page about who you're adding, and make sure that it's quality over quantity. You can't drag people across the finish line. You can't be babysitting them every month and say, oh, do you think you'll be able to place an order this month? And, kind of be like, on them about like, well, actually like trying to convince them to place an order. That's always going to be exhausting for you. And I learned that the hard way. And so, just being mindful of who you're adding to your team. I wound up, she had some like personal things happen, like some tragic things in her life, and so she had to take a step back from Plexus. And as a result, my business kind of stalled because I was trying to pick up the pieces. So another point in my notes was, if whatever happens, for whatever reason, if your business partner decides that they cannot work the business at the time, do not let that stop you. You have to run full force towards your goals. I definitely let it stop me because I was just like totally confused. I mean, we were talking every day. We were in sync. We were, just, okay, and who do you have in your potentials list, and who are you going to talk to today? And do you want to do a 3-way? And then all that stopped. And I just felt totally alone and like deer caught in the headlights, didn't know how to progress. So my time frame of however long it was going to take me to get to gold, it just sort of stalled. And every month, it didn't even look like it was ever possible, even though I was adding a ton of ambassadors. I was flipping my loyal customers to wholesale ambassadors once I knew that they were definitely loving the products and would continue on them. So that's another point in my notes, was just always be connecting with your loyal customers. And I have a checklist of like which customers I talk to. So like on Tuesday, I go through like a certain amount of my customers, like A through F or whatever, and I just check in with them like, hey girl, tell me like some of your victories this week, or like, how are you feeling? Let's talk about your dosage. Definitely be talking to your customers all the time, because the way to rank up isn't just about your ambassadors. It's also about your customers, because you never know when someone loves the products truly, and you're being loyal to them, they're being loyal to you and ordering, they're being loyal to Plexus. you talk to them about upgrading, and they might wind up being one of your biggest business builders because they already have the passion for the products. It's just a matter of getting them to see the potential in sharing it with other people and not just keeping it to themselves. So a few of my people just started out as customers, and now they're like telling people all about the products, and they're actually starting to build a business. So yeah, be focusing on the big picture of everyone in your organization, not just your ambassadors. Another mistake that I made, if we're focusing on like things that I did wrong, was that my goals and my passion, I treated everyone that joined me like they were ready to be the next diamond. And that's not the goal of a lot of people that join you. You know, sometimes people already work a full-time business or have 7 kids and can't really commit the way that I could commit with only 2 kids. And so just now that our duplication process is so amazing, thanks to Rachel's video, this is a little bit more ironed out. But back then, like 16 months ago, everyone that joined me, I was like, sweet, we're going to be diamonds together. And I just like kind of blew it because I am just a very intense person and I love Plexus so much, like obsessed. So I just treated everyone like they were going to be obsessed with me. And I think I kind of scared people like with my passion. So definitely when you are getting on that first Zoom with them, be very intentional about what their goals are and how you can help them get to their goals, not your goals. I had a level 1 recently. We were just kind of like powwowing and talking about like, you know, just checking in with her and seeing like what, like if her goals had changed, because I noticed her kind of stepping back a little bit. And I was like, talk to me, you know, I'm here for you no matter what. You're not going to disappoint me. I just want to be able to help you. And she was like, well, you know, I have a lot going on in my personal life, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I wish that you had told me, because I'm treating you like, okay, now we're going to, you know, get you to silver and we're going to do this and that. And really she was a little bit overwhelmed by it. And so I am making a point to really check in with my people. And making sure that my passion isn't like superseding or like overpowering their goals. Some people just want to work this as a hobby, and it's important to know that and respect it. And she even said, she's like, you know, I have so much going on right now that like your Silver Stars group is just like too much for me. Like I just can't even do it. And I was like, okay, now that I know, I'll just back off a little. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was, you can't drag people across the finish line, like a few of the other girls said. So don't waste time on the people that aren't able to see the vision. Like you can inspire them and motivate them. Even if they say they want the business and they say that they're, you know, expanding their network and they're doing all these things the right way and they're posting every day and you're looking at their posts and doesn't seem like they're doing anything wrong. And you can't really crack the code on why they're not succeeding. You can't make them do anything that you want them to do. It really isn't your fault if they're doing everything right and they're still not reaching their goals. There's probably some kind of missing puzzle piece there that you haven't figured out and they haven't figured out. And like Rachel told me the other day, we were talking and she was like, you know, honestly, half of the time or most of the time, it's the mindset piece. And I think I have a hard time relating to my team when they don't have a strong mindset about this business, because I started this business like knowing I was going to do it like come hell or high water. I knew that I had to prove it to my husband that I could make money, and I was never going back to work again. After I had my second baby, I was like, no, I can't fail because I need to make money. And so like mindset for me was never, I knew I was never quitting Plexus until I reached the top. Like I just knew that. So when my team isn't as passionate or as motivated as me, I have a really hard time relating to them. Like I don't know how to inspire them other than like, well, you just need to read a book. Like, you know, that's as much as I can give them, because you can't inspire people in the long term. You know, you can inspire them and give them a Bible verse or give them an encouraging word or say I'm praying for you or whatever it is, but that's going to fade. Hi, Rowan. And so they really need to find that from within, and you can't make them experience that. So there was one more thing that I wanted to say. I'm looking through my notes. What worked for me to finally get to gold after like a year of being stalled. So I went silver in like my first full month, and then it took me probably, well, I ranked in July finally, and I went in June. I ended June at like 65 or 70 points, and I was like, it's not going to happen next month. Like, it's just, I would need to find, 5, 6, 7 more people that are going to place qualifying orders. And I know it's not going to happen. So I was super discouraged, but I was like, still not giving up. I was just like, okay, I'm going to have to move it back another month. But I really, really wanted to rank up. Like, I guess I had a timeline like written out of ranking up every quarter until, I forget how I mapped it out, but basically I wanted to get Maui by next year. So I was like, okay, how in the world am I going to get to Hawaii by July of next year? And like figuring out the math and everything, I was like, okay, well, I just really need to be gold by June or July. So the end of June hit, and I was like, it's not going to happen. And then July it did. So I went from like 65 points in June to 105 in July. And the one thing that I never stopped doing was adding to my own level ones. Like, I basically got to gold with all wholesale ambassadors or just level ones who are like working the business, but actually don't have anyone signed up under them. Like, I only have, 2 level 3s and no level 4s. So it's mostly just level 1s. And then the level 2s that I do have are either wholesale or brand new and not really working their businesses quite yet. And so the takeaway that I have for that is that you can get to gold by yourself, but you need a team to get any further. So that's where finding business builders comes in. And I have to say that that's probably my biggest challenge. I won't say it's like my biggest struggle, but it is my biggest challenge, mainly because I have self-limiting thoughts and self-limiting beliefs about people wanting to join me to build a business. And so again, mindset is everything. Just like Tiffany said, mindset has to be locked in. And so I'm fighting past all of those. Like, I know I can do this, but my mindset shift has to happen where I say the people that have joined me are influential and capable of having people join them. And I'm capable of leading X, Y, and Z. I'm capable of duplicating this process down and showing people the way. I tend to limit myself and say, well, who would want to join me to build a business? I know I can get people to join me as a wholesale customer, because who doesn't love a good deal? That's a simple part. But building a team of people who want to do this as a job, that seems like kind of crazy to me. Like, I don't know too many people who would want to build a business like this. Like, who would want to do this and let alone do it with me? So don't limit yourself, and don't be like feeding yourself those lies, because people do want this and they need it. Just like when I joined, I super, super needed this opportunity. We needed the money. And so that's all.
Thank you, Steph. I really appreciate it. Okay, and our last guest speaker is Joanna Miller. She is under Adrienne Larson. She's recently gone senior gold, and she's also excited to hear from her. So I'll let you speak.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to just give you a few tips tonight. Hopefully it helps you out. No, don't do that. Sorry, my husband works nights, and so my kids don't have someone to watch them, so it might get a little loud. Hopefully not. But anyway, I thought since gold has 4 letters in it, I would come up with 4 tips. So my first one is work your business every day. Even if you work full time or you had a crazy day with the kids, I think a lot of us are moms, wives on here. Even if you have 15 minutes, everyone can carve out 15 minutes in your day to work your business. Don't miss posting on Facebook. Get get something in. Don't just give up for the day because you couldn't work an hour of IPAs or whatever. Do something and at least post. I get so many people now that reach out to me just from my posts, wanting to learn more about Texas because they see that I'm consistent with it. I'm posting every day. So don't miss a day of working your business. Or, I mean, if you work it 5 days a week, then 5 days a week. I take, a day off once a week. But that's my first tip. Do something every day for your business. Number 2 would be do something that builds your beliefs every day. So whether that's watching a Diamond documentary, reading, or watching a product video on May Darling, I love her, on YouTube, or going to Jennifer Leaf's Texas Wellness page and reading testimonials. Do something that builds your belief so that even on your hard days and it seems like nobody cares that you do Texas and nobody is responding to your messages, you know this business works, these products work because you're constantly building your belief. So that would be number 2. Number 3 would be grow your network. I think everyone who talked tonight said that because it works. Expand your network. I started without Facebook actually. And I got a Facebook because I knew I had to have one if I wanted to grow my business as a stay-at-home mom. So I went from 0 friends to over 2,000. And that's just essential. You have to be constantly growing your network and intentionally. Don't just randomly well, in the beginning I randomly added people, but now I'm more intentional about it, trying to make sure I meet them and build that relationship. But yeah, expand your network. It's definitely something you need to be doing. And then the last thing is it's because of my journey from gold to senior gold, but I thought it was really important, so I wanted to add it. It's IPAs, and I wish I had honed in on this, or it would have sunk in the beginning. I don't know what my problem was. I just didn't get it in the beginning, but I just recently started being very intentional about my IPAs this past June, and I was actually already at gold, but from being in just a minute, sorry. But I really started every day just making sure I was doing the IPA sheet that you've seen floating around on the team pages. I think Jessica Heffley has that. But following that and doing it every day, writing down who I was reaching out to, so that because before I did IPAs, but I never really was very organized with it, and I would just kind of randomly talk to people and message them. And a lot of times they'd get lost through my messenger because I wasn't writing them down and making sure that I had a good follow-up system and all of that. So I got very intentional with my IPAs in June, making sure I was reaching out, following up every single day. And I went from barely being gold in June to being senior gold about a little over 3 months later. And so I feel like that is just one of the keys to success. And you probably hear all the time because all the diamonds say, do your IPAs. And in the beginning of my business, I guess I was confused what IPAs were, and it just kind of overwhelmed me. But if you just get that sheet, the IPA sheet, and just follow it. And it kind of goes along with the work your business every day, the first tip. Even if you only have 15 minutes, that's okay. You don't have to reach out to 5 people on your IPA sheet because it says 5 people on there. It says follow up with 3. If you can just reach out to one person, that's great. Reach out to one person, follow up with one person. At least you did something in your business. It's ideal to reach out to 5 and follow up with 3, but don't let the fact that you didn't have time to do all that discourage you from at least doing something. So yeah, I think those are all my tips. So work your business every day. Do something that builds your belief every day. Grow your network and do your IPAs every day. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you. I love that. That just perfectly summed up everything. Simple little steps. And honestly, guys, you got a lot of really great advice tonight and tips, but it really is that simple. You just have to do what we tell you to do. Okay, maybe that was a little conceited, but really though, we're telling you this because it works and because we've been there and because we've done it, not because we like to tell you to do all these things because it's fun, because most of the time, this business is fun, but some things just aren't that fun. But anyway, I am going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody who popped on. I want to give a special thanks to all our guest speakers tonight. I personally appreciate it. My stomach appreciates that I didn't have to do all the talking tonight. And if you got some inspiration or a light bulb went off tonight, we would all love to hear about it. I know I love to hear all those things, and the speakers would too. So let us know. But again, thank you for hopping on tonight. I'll upload this soon, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.
Okay.